Hey guys, this is Sports with Dylan. I'm back with more coaching news. And it's gonna be the same thing as the last videos. Just coaching news. And couple coaches hired. No one fired. So, just hirings. Anyways, if you're wondering why I actually came up with a title for this video, it's because I completely used up the amount of times I could say more coaches hired. A lot more coaches hired. Coaches hired. Okay, it just was getting too much. I couldn't think of any more titles like that. So, as you can see, I have a proper title for this one, but it's not just going to be that. It's going to be more. So, stay tuned. I'm gonna start off with the smaller news and get to bigger stuff. So, first off, the Broncos hired their offensive coordinator. Jason Elton, he was the tight ends coach in Green Bay. So it's not that surprising, because he worked under Nathaniel Hackett, so for Nathaniel Hackett to bring him in as the offensive coordinator isn't surprising. It'll be interesting, though, because, as I mentioned, former tight ends coach, so he could help Noah Fant develop into something even more. And he could also work with the receivers probably pretty well. Jerry Jeudy continuing to develop, and Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler. So, it'll be interesting to see what he does in Denver. But I'm not sure if he is necessarily the top candidate out there, but got the job. Nathaniel Hackett also hired Clint Kubiak, the former Vikings offensive coordinator, to be the Broncos quarterback coach. Now, Clint Kubiak's walking into this not even knowing who he's going to be coaching at the quarterback position. Because it could be anyone. The Broncos have so many quarterback options. So, we'll have to see who he coaches, but he wasn't a bad offensive coordinator. He only had 1 year. The offense wasn't bad. Kirk Cousins was quite good. He's the son of former Broncos head coach Gary Kubiak, so it's gone full circle. Next up, the Bills promoted their quarterbacks coach, Ken Dorsey, to the offensive coordinator position due to them having a hole of Brian Daboll parting. Now, this isn't much of a surprise. He's helped Josh Allen turn into a star, and he can continue to do that now as the offense coordinator. So, I'm not surprised at all. He was my third-ranked quarterbacks coach in the whole league, just because of that. He's just helped Josh Allen turn into a full-on star. He deserves this coordinator job, and it would not surprise me whatsoever if in a year or two he's got a head coaching job, just because the Bills' high-powered offense is likely to keep going how they are. Matt Eberflus has now hired his offensive and defensive coordinators. The defensive coordinator is Alan Williams, a former defensive backs coach for the Colts. So it's the same thing as the Broncos. It's not that much of a surprise. He's bringing in someone he's worked with before, someone he knows, but he's been promoted. So this isn't a surprise whatsoever. What is a surprise is the offensive coordinator. You see, I expected Luke Getz to either join Nathaniel Hackett's new team, the Broncos, as their offensive coordinator, or be promoted to offensive coordinator on the Packers. But instead, Matt Eberflus, who is a genius, promoted Luke Getz to his offensive coordinator. Now, this is a really smart move. I wasn't expecting him to leave, but if he is, I would argue he would be the top candidate in the league for an offensive coordinator. And that's saying a lot given some of the coaches that were fired this season. So there's some really good candidates, but I would argue that Luke Getz is the best. So, good for him getting an offensive coordinator job. Plus, now the Bears have a bit of an insider on their rival, the Packers. Think of it. He knows Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure if Aaron Rodgers will be on the Packers in 2022. But if he is, Luke Getz knows Aaron Rodgers. He knows what he's dealing with here. How to prepare the team for that. And he knows the whole system, really. But Aaron Rodgers specifically. He also knows Jordan Love. So if it isn't Rodgers, it's Love. And again, Getz knows him. So he knows what he's going to do. The new quarterbacks coach will have a bit of a challenge in Green Bay, revamping the system a bit so that Luke Getz can't just counter everything they do perfectly. But it's a really smart move by Matt Eberflus. He's already a better coach than Matt Nagy. Not really. Doesn't have a Coach of the Year award. But he should, just based on his hirings. Now, that leaves the Packers without a quarterbacks coach and an offensive coordinator. Now, they promoted run game coordinator and offensive line coach Adam Stenovich to the offensive coordinator. I looked into this a bit more. I didn't think so when I filmed the Nathaniel Hackett getting hired video of who would replace him. But looking into it, he is a qualified candidate. At the time, he was the second best on the team, easily. So, it's not that much of a surprise he gets the job. Good for him. He's got the job. I assume the Packers' offense will keep rolling how it does. Rodgers, and Jones, Dillon, Adams. You've got a talented roster to work with. So, good luck, Adam. And now, to what the title is. The Raiders have hired their coach and general manager on the same day. I'm assuming it was a package deal because they did both come from the Patriots. It is Dave Ziegler, I hope I pronounced that right, and Josh McDaniels. I know I pronounced that one right. So it must be a package deal. It's gotta be, honestly, because there's no other option. What else could it have been? Why would they hire the coach and GM on the same day? Now, honestly, I did not think he'd become the Raiders coach, but it is interesting to see. And it's going to be a change in Las Vegas with new GM, new coach, so it'll be interesting to watch this team. But what I wonder is what will become of Rick Becerra? Because he was a good interim. He led them to 10-7. They already had some of those wins. But with all the things that went on, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, John Gruden, obviously, you start to wonder, what will become of him? It would not surprise me if he took the offense coordinator job. It wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders don't change a ton with Josh McDaniels. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they kept Gus Bradley, and it wouldn't surprise me if Rick Becerra got promoted to offensive coordinator, because their offensive coordinator's fine, but not great. And that's what Josh McDaniels wants. So it would not surprise me. I keep saying that way too much, don't I? Yeah, crap. I'll remember that for the future. Not even thinking about it. Anyways, it would not surprise me, that phrase is really getting annoying, if Rick Becerra becomes the offensive coordinator. He deserves it, so he should get it. If not, he will not have trouble finding a job as probably an offensive coordinator, maybe another special teams coordinator on another team. It's likely he would go for the offensive coordinator job because they're more common to get hired as a head coach full-time. So I think he will get offensive coordinator over special teams coordinator. but we'll see. He deserves offensive coordinator, but we'll see what the teams that are hiring think. Now I'm saying we'll see too much. Crap. So that's all for today. And I'll be back pretty soon. It feels like every time I make one of these videos, a couple hours later, more coaching news comes out, but I don't want to film another video, wait a couple days, and then I film it. Anyways, I'll be back soon with more coaching news, so thanks for watching.